چیئرمین بھی ہیں, فارمر ممبر سینٹ آف پاکستان بھی ہیں, کہ وہ اپنے خیالات کا اظہار کریں.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable senators, former senators, and dignitaries. It is my privilege to be here on this occasion when we are celebrating the Golden Jubilee of our Constitution and then the Parliament. As for the political history and the legislative history of Pakistan is concerned, we have to see what hurdles we crossed and how we were governed in the last 74, 75 years. To start with, on the creation of Pakistan, when we got independence, the country was being ruled under the Government of India Act 1935. And a Constituent Assembly came into existence in 1947. At the outset, we had 69 members of the Constituent Assembly. And that assembly was elected by the provincial legislatures. The object and the task given to the Constituent Assembly was to frame the Constitution for Pakistan, for a newly independent country. And it was very unfortunate that the members of the Constituent Assembly were unable to frame the Constitution for a new country. Subsequently, the original strength was 69 and then it was raised to 79. The process of framing the Constitution started, but in 1954 the first Constituent Assembly was dissolved. As we compare with India, it took hardly 3 years to frame their Constitution. After a passage of 3 years, India got the Constitution. But till 1954, we could not get the Constitution for our new country. When it was dissolved in 1954, then again it was resumed, rather I would say, in 1955. And the first Constitution which Pakistan got, it was 1956 Constitution. That was the Constitution which had a unicameral system. But ultimately, a martial law was imposed in 1958 on 7th of October. And the country was again without a constitution. Then in 1962, a one-man constitution was given to the Pakistan. And the country was ruled for 10 years under that constitution. So the reason why we are celebrating this day and we are cherishing the benefits of this constitution, because this was the constitution of 1973, which was given by the representative of people of Pakistan. A 25-member committee was formed in 1972. That committee was formed by late Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who was president at that time in 1972, and that parliamentary committee approved the draft of 1973 Constitution on 20th of October 1972. All the parliamentary leaders of Pakistan who were in the National Assembly, with a consensus, they approved and they agreed on that Constitution. And in February 1973, the bill for 1973 Constitution was tabled in the National Assembly. and that bill was passed by the National Assembly of Pakistan on 10th of April 1973. And that was the constitution which was enforced on 14th of August 1973. But the constitution was unfortunate, and the people of Pakistan were unfortunate, that constitution could not survive beyond 5th of July 1977. And a time came, and I had been saying earlier also, that our constitution at times was polluted by the dictators of this country. And thank God, when through 18th Amendment, we were able to remove all those insertions given during the martial law regime and during the undemocratic period, Rightly, as has been mentioned by, the Chief Minister of Sindh, this is the constitution which governs the relations of the state organs, which governs the relations between state and its citizens, and which gives the parameters for the state organs. So he rightly said that there has been an intrusion by certain state organs in the functioning of the parliament also. So if we see the preamble of the constitution, whoever has a desire to exercise the authority of the state, I would say, he must go before the people of Pakistan. He must have a mandate from the people of Pakistan. Any other person who hasn't got the mandate of people of Pakistan has got no right to interfere in the executive powers of the country or in the parliament of this country. The preamble says, wherein the state shall exercise its powers and authority through the chosen representative of people of Pakistan. That is the basic concept given in our constitution. But we have seen that there's a concept which has been developed, that's the basic structure. People talk, and some state organs talk about that the basic structure could not be changed. But my point of view is that the Constitution of Pakistan is a creation by the members of the parliament. And the Constitution itself gives authority to the members of the parliament. Article 239 is very clear about that. It gives power to the parliament to amend the Constitution. And they can amend according to the desires of the people of Pakistan, according to the needs of people of Pakistan. And I'll be referring to that article particularly, that certain legislations and certain amendments of the Constitution had been challenged before the Supreme Judiciary. And I'm very clear about that. Except the Parliament, nobody can question the amendments made by the Parliament of Pakistan. And the Constitution itself bars, It categorically, I will be mentioning this sub-article 5 of Article 239. No amendment of Constitution shall be called in question in any court on any ground whatsoever. So I have a firm belief and faith in my Constitution, because it regulates my relations with the state organs also. And secondly, what was the need of having a bicameral parliament in Pakistan? What was the requirement? And what made Zulfikar Ali Bhutto to think to have a upper house in Pakistan? Because 1976 Constitution, it had a unicameral legislature. It had a one house, The basic thing which came to his mind was that we are a federation. but the representation of all provinces in the National Assembly is in accordance with the population. There's a disparity in number of the members of the National Assembly. Punjab is a bigger province. And if you calculate the number of the members of the National Assembly, if you count them, it is much more than the 3 other provinces. So to have an equal representation in the parliament, this concept of bicameral legislature was brought into the Pakistan. We have been following the Westminster, system in our country, the parliamentary democracy, But we have to see, we have to bring certain provisions in our constitution which suits us. In our neighboring country, you see, in Pakistan we have a chief executive from the lower house. But it's in India, where a member of upper house can be chief executive of the country. Manmohan Singh remained for 2 terms as the Prime Minister of India. He was never a member of a Lok Sabha. He was a member of Rajya Sabha. So why can't we think and we see that we can bring an amendment to bring up parity, where there's a disparity in the National Assembly? Why can't we think that a member of a Senate from any other province or a member of Senate from any province, he could be a chief executive of this country? Because India is having that. They do follow the Westminster, but there's an exception to that upper house member can be chief executive over there also. As for the functioning of the both houses is concerned, at one time when I was in the chair, I suggested and I wrote to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, then Prime Minister of Pakistan, that our 2 houses have standing committees, and they have a separate standing committees over there. For legislation, much time is consumed. Once a bill is tabled in the National Assembly, it goes to the standing committee of the National Assembly, then the bill is transmitted to the upper house, then it is sent to the standing committee. It consumes a lot of time and it is more expensive also. As a chairman of the Senate at that time, I wrote to the Prime Minister of Pakistan that let's have a joint standing committees of both the houses. You will save money, you will save time. Same thing is being practiced in India. There are joint standing committees of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Why can't we adopt that? So, but that request was never entertained or never looked upon. But still I suggest, you being a chairman of the upper house, and even Raja Saab was sitting here as a speaker, the law minister is also sitting, we must have a consultation on this. We must have a consultation on this. We should have a joint assemblies of both the houses of the parliament, As for, celebrating this Golden Jubilee, in our previous Central Executive Committee meeting, Honorable Raza Rubani was there, who initiated this process in our party. And it was resolved in our Central Executive Committee that this year will be celebrated as a Golden Jubilee year for having Constitution for last 50 years. And thank God, the chairman of the Senate and the National Assembly chairman, they have also decided to celebrate this events in the parliament. And secondly, what I feel is that we have to assert our position, being the members of the parliament. It is a time to think that I believe in a sovereign parliament. And if the parliament is not sovereign, then I feel there is no need to sit over here. If there can be intrusions in the functions of the parliament, if the parliament feels handicapped, so we are not serving the nation then. If we want to uphold this constitution, so you have to strengthen the parliament. You have to assert your position for that. And we feel so that the political history of Pakistan is a mixture of many things, And many times, sometimes their constitution was abrogated, sometimes it was laid into abeyance, sometimes it is suspended, But the main role, the politicians have to play. The members of the parliament have to play their role. And I hope so, taking this law as a supreme law, they would stand by this constitution and they'll defend, preserve and protect this constitution. Thank you very much, Chairman sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, तशरीफ लाते हैं.
Thank you.
अब मैं चाहता हूँ कि साथ साथ मौका